Hello everybody, your boy is back for another video. I hope you are having a good time. But today, I'm not alone. Say hi, buddy.
Hey guys, I'm at, I'm at 97 Radical, otherwise known as 97 Radical, also otherwise known as just Radical. I make music and I am a good friend to Bucky.
Yes, indeed he is. Anyways, so, because he would prefer to remain anonymous, I'm not going to mention his name. Anyways, but today, me and him have spent a long amount of time composing this tier list. And, well, not really tier list, it's a ranking. But we've ranked every single Legends Arceus boss, and we were pretty non-specific when it came to this. So we have 22. This was kind of hard considering we had to combine our rankings together, which meant I had to do a lot of math. But eventually, we got it all down. So without further ado, let us begin. Number 21, Shaman. As you can see, we have the rankings right here. So, I'm going to do one of the explanations first, and then you can do one next, buddy.
Alright, that sounds cool.
I mean, go back and forth.
Like that?
Yeah, we're going to do it like that.
That sounds good, yeah.
Alright, so let me explain why Shaman's in the bottom. As you can see, Shaman for me is ranked at number 17. This guy really isn't too much of a good boss. He's, pretty weak. He doesn't really fight back. And if I'm going to be honest, he's just not really that interesting of a fight. I mean, he's pretty weak, which is why, Radical has him at 21 at the very bottom. So, we decided to place him here because of the fact he's the lowest ranked out of everyone. Alright. Now, this one may come as a shock. Number 20, Darkrai.
Hi, the reason that Darkrai is so low is because one, he just has average second lowest, and two, Darkrai himself is not that very interesting of a boss. It has a great idea, and it has some good execution with the lore and all of that, but a lot of people who've gone to Legends Arceus already were familiar with Darkrai's lore, and the fight itself isn't really helping with that, as Darkrai, I don't know if this is intended or not, but he will just keep on teleporting in and out of the exact same space, allowing you with a well-timed Pokeball to catch it and make it.
Alright. Next up, number 19, Mess Spirit. Now, this is my least favorite of the Lake Guardians because the other two at least have something going for them. Mess Spirit really does not. Mess Spirit's my least favorite of the Lake Guardians, but I don't think she's a bad Pokemon. I do like Mess Spirit. But I just like the other two a lot more, and Mess Spirit's fight is just honestly really boring, and there really is not much to it, which is why I have her ranked at last place. But she got higher than Shaman because Radical's ranking for Mess Spirit was higher than my ranking for Shaman. So that's why she's at number 19.
Next up is Hisuian Zoroark. Now, some people might be confused on why Zoroark's here. That's because during the darkness, not the darkness, that's Galore. During the event where the sky turns red and stuff, there are three bosses spotting each of the lakes. And I forget which lake Zoroark is fought specifically, but Zoroark is fought one of those lake bosses alongside two other bosses that will be featured further in the ranking. Um, Zoroark just happens to rank the least out of all of those because despite being very cool and having a very nice typing, it's just normal Pokemon battles at the end of the day when it comes to bosses.
Number 17, Uxie. Uxie is an interesting concept for a boss. The Pokemon of Knowledge sounds like it'd be a good fight, but ultimately it doesn't really deliver, and it doesn't have any of the same flair that the other Lake Guardian down the line has. Because that one, you'll see if you know Pokemon, you'll definitely know who it is. But that guy has a lot more going for him, considering he's a lot more interesting. Uxie is just meh, so that's why he's here.
Next up is Hisuian Lilligant. Now, the reason that Hisuian Lilligant is here and not high with all the other nobles, it's actually the lowest ranked noble, by the way, is because, in my opinion, and my extremely low ranking opinion, Lilligant is by far the easiest of all the bosses. The main story bosses, that is to say, all the noble Pokemon, 100% the easiest out of all of them. Even Kleavor, who arguably might be easier, is a lot much
Alright, number 15, Manaphy. Now, this one is a bit weird considering, as you can see, this is a very, very split ranking between the two of us. But, Manaphy, in my opinion, the fight, I mainly rank the fight itself. While it's okay, and I do like the concept of it having Fion to actually protect itself, which implies there's more than one, which is why it's not last place. Manaphy is just too easy of a fight considering you fight it post game. And some of the other post game bosses are a decent amount harder, so Manaphy being this weak is just a bit disappointing. So that's why Manaphy's this low.
Coming in next, we have Cresselia, which is one of the late game, actually post game technically bosses, in which you're trying to get all the plates for a certain cool guy that was mentioned later down the list. And Cresselia is actually extremely interesting because Cresselia flips the controls via giving you, I think it's the confusion status effect. I'm not too confident, but it's actually really interesting. And while you can just like hold down on the controller to counteract the pen, it's actually extremely interesting. As but I don't think we've ever seen inverted controls ever in a Pokemon game. I mean, I'm probably wrong, but hey, still, it's really fun. And also, I just like Cresselia as a Pokemon competitive player. But yeah.
Alright, next up we have Goodra at number 13. So this one, I really like Goodra. Radical does not like it as much because of the fact it's just a regular Pokemon, but I think this alpha Pokemon delivers in quality, considering the fact it's... The thing about all three alphas is that they have really good typings, and they all deliver great on the boss fights. Goodra being a pseudo-legendary, of course, delivers. It's a free alpha Goodra, and it gets moves like Shelter, which is broken in Legends Arceus, but not to, pretty bad in regular competitive nowadays. But overall, I do like this fight. It's pretty tough considering how tough Hisui and Goodra is, and I definitely gave Goodra a little bit of the power boost it needed to stand out. So that's why it's ranked number 13.
Coming in as the top ranking, what was it, Lake Guardian, comes Azel. Now, me personally, my favorite Lake Guardian is Yuxi because it's knowledge, and I like knowledge, and also yellow, which I think is a really good color. But the reason Azel might demise it a little bit is because not necessarily before you actually fight it in the post game trying to collect the plate, but beforehand, the challenge that you must have to do to obtain, I think it's Azel's Fang, is the most interesting out of all the challenges. Whereas the other two just click text or, for Yuxi, my favorite, calculate. Azel actually has an extremely interactive one where you have to throw marsh balls at it and it just dodges all of them constantly, but you have to persist since Azel being willpower. Overall, the most interesting of the Lake Guardian boss, but still a Lake Guardian boss, so not that interesting.
Next up is Regigigas. As you can see, very, very split opinions between the two of us. I like Regigigas because of the concept of, the giant temple guardian coming alive and trying to fight back. I think that's very good for Regigigas. However, I can see why considering slow start, comes into effect, but not as severely considering, Regigigas hits very hard still. They gave this thing freaking Giga Impact, and Giga Impact in Legends Arceus is not that bad considering it doesn't make you waste a turn, it just makes it so that, you might lose a turn. You might. Doesn't mean you will. So Regigigas is actually decent in difficulty, but I like the ominous presence they gave him. However, I do like the counterpart he has later on, because the fact that that guy, he actually has a little challenge you have to do before you fight him, which is added on to the boss fight.
Oh my god, that's such a small picture. Next up is Cleavor. Now, despite being the first noble boss, Cleavor is probably one of the most interesting, as the cinematic cutscene in the opening is very good. And Cleavor as a first boss is, in my opinion, harder than Lilligant, as it has, like two attacks instead of, Lilligant just like one. And also, Cleavor as a Pokemon is also just really good. And I think it's a great introductory boss for the entire game. Just a pretty good solid boss in general.
Alright, next up is Overquill. Overquill I like a lot. Ranking at number 4 for me, Overquill is by far the best of the best. Since I chose Adaman, going to Lake Valor and seeing this thing was just amazing. But there's one reason I like this fight a lot more than the rest. For two reasons. Number one, this is the fight that challenges you right before you fight Azelf. In my opinion, the best of the Lake Guardians. But you fight this guy at Lake Valor. And when I was a kid, my first game was Pokemon Diamond. And Pokemon Diamond still holds a special place in my heart as easily one of my favorite games because of the nostalgia. This guy reminds me of me going through Team Galactic and fighting Saturn as Toxicroak, considering the fact that both Toxicroak and Overquill are both poison types. It was a special moment. And when I got to find that I could fight Azelf after defeating Dialga, that was a good moment. But other than that, in general, Overquill is just a pretty hard fight, and I love the difficulty they gave him, and they definitely made him seem like the most threatening, considering the fact that Azelf is a very strong Pokemon, so having him be guarded by this thing was awesome.
Coming in next is Heat Tramp. Now, the reason that Heat Tramp is so high is because, one, you fight a volcano, that's sick, and two, there are mud balls scattered around the field, which you can pick up and then throw each chance to stun it. Otherwise, you would be trapped in this fiery vortex that would damage you if you hit it. And this is also a callback to not weaknesses, Heat Tramp's 4 times weakness ground, since mud is ground. So it's also just really cool that they put that reference in there. Additionally, I like Heatran. I think it's a really cool Pokemon, and it's my favorite Steel type actually. So yeah, it's just a really good boss. And honestly, the iconic Wagga 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 Wow is just too good to pass up.
Next up is Arcanine. So, I'm gonna be honest, I don't like Arcanine. I think this boss is pretty flawed. I think it's only a tad bit better than Cleavor, but not by much. So the thing about this boss that I don't like the most is how dysfunctional it is. I think it's a good noble fight with like its first attacks and phases where it shoots fireballs and stuff. But the one shot attack is just so poorly made it actually hurts. This boss definitely would have been probably in the top 10 if its one shot attack was just not if its one shot attack was just balanced out better. Other than that though, it's an alright fight. So yeah.
I just like to say the reason that I have it ranked number 4 is because the intro cutscene is really really awesome.
Oh yeah, the intro cutscene.
He walks on lava. That's awesome.
That is awesome, but like considering the fact that this guy, in his sad backstory, they really could have delivered him better. And I kind of wish this fight was a bit better, which is why I have it ranked lower than Lilligant.
Yeah. Also, you might hear background noise. That's just my mom coming in.
Okay.
With my sister. Yeah.
Next up.
Oh, yes. Next up is Commander Commodore. Now, this is actually the first non-Pokemon on the boss list, and that is because he's just honestly a really solid fight. At this point in the story, he is just cracked on insane trying to stop legendary Pokemon, and I honestly think that what they did this with the guy, becoming the guy that leads you, and then going into the guy that you have to fight. So, but yeah, the boss fight though.
Alright, next up is Electrode. I think this goes without saying that Electrode is definitely one of my favorite nobles. This guy is just a really fun fight. Also, he's pretty hard. Like, he's actually a pretty hard fight. He shoots down a bunch of exploding Voltorb from the top, and then he also dashes at you and just giant electric shocks. The whole fight is like a bullet hell. But this one's done very well, and the attacks don't do too much damage, but there's so many of them that you just have to act fast, otherwise Electrode's gonna take you out. So, like, instead of, like, dodging attacks for a decent amount of it, you have to throw bombs at this guy, which is why I like it, because while you're trying to dodge attacks, you have to worry about throwing bombs at this guy. And considering the fact he doesn't give you, like, any time to breathe, that's gonna make this a pretty exhilarating fight.
Coming in
This one might shock you, but my number 3 goes to Avalugg. He's ranked number 2 for me. That might be a bit of a shock considering how the final 2 on this list are absolutely amazing, but somehow Avalugg is ranked this high. But let me explain. Avalugg, in my opinion, is one of the hardest bosses in the game. Up there with, like, some of the hardest ones. Because this guy is easily the hardest noble. I think he's harder than Dialga and Palkia. Because the icicle spears he shoots down, this guy is basically the magnum opus of all the nobles, and including Dialga and Palkia. He's basically the perfect fight out of all of them, in my opinion. And I think he was so well made that he deserved the number 2 slot. However, thanks to our combined opinions, there are 2 bosses above him.
Coming in at the penultimate ranking, we have the Golem fight. Now, in my opinion, this is probably one of the hardest boss fights in Pokemon up to date. Period. Because one, this is the only Pokemon master who wields 8 Pokemon, counting both irritative forms. And two, the team itself is extremely hard. 6 high-level Pokemon, which all are references to Cynthia's team, extremely type diverse, and also technically 2 legendaries with no healing periods in between whatsoever. And also, going with the lore reasons and the plot, this man, just like absolutely losing his mind over what is essentially God and trying to bring him down so he can fight him, is probably just the coolest thing that Pokemon has ever done. Probably one of the most hardcore. It's like a guy going insane over God. Very, very interesting to me. And I just think the fight's extremely well done, and finally, and like fully fleshing out Volo's character, just it's practically perfect, honestly.
Coming in at number 1, we have the magnum opus of the game, Arceus. Oh my god, this fight is amazingly good. The reason this fight is higher than Volo is because Radical had it higher than I had higher Volo. So, this fight left me in awe when I first did it, because this fight is insanity. The amount of bullet hell that Arceus shoots at you is absolutely insane. You remember the meteors from Dialga and Palkia's fight that were pretty slow but did a lot of damage? Oh, cool. Arceus shoots like a million of those at a time. Teleporting to you, shunning the ground, using shockwaves, he has it all. Plus, even if you try to fight him in battle, he's still hard considering he has access to Judgment, which absolutely can obliterate your Pokemon. This fight is insanity. And considering the fact this implied this is God, when he's barely even trying, I don't want to even imagine fighting Arceus at his full power. That would probably be the hardest fight ever. You'd probably need a double battle of 12 Pokemon, and even then I still don't think you could beat it. Overall, Arceus truly is the god of Pokemon, and, in our opinion, the greatest boss of Legends Arceus. So, you got anything to say, buddy?
Not necessarily, no.
Right.
I think this is actually a great tier list, though.
Yeah.
And I think that practically, yeah, I agree with all of these rankings. Really good.
Thank you for watching the video, folks. I hope you have enjoyed. Check out 97 Radical. He's a good friend of mine, and thanks for watching.
Check out more of Marky's content. He's also really awesome.
Thank you. But anyways, this is mainly made so that we could both make a video together because we've been wanting to do this for a while. And I'm glad we could both, come together and make this list because this was kind of hard but also really good. I'm going to be honest, I was surprised when Volo was not number 1, but I remembered about Arceus. And, well, yeah, that kind of just overtook the list. But anyways, thank you for watching. Check out our channels, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.